interpreter for the language.
Okay,
Let's
so
see. Here, let's
we
see
need
this.
a plan.
Hold on. I can plan.
Okay, I can move. I can stand if need be.
Here.
No, I just
No, I
need
got
to be
it.
able to.
I got it.
Because we have two of these that they're parked, that's all.
Yeah, we're flexible. Flexibility is part of the job.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is fine. Yeah. Tony, you're gonna come this way? Yeah. You're already set. Park right in it.
Yeah.
Park right next to.
Don't run over Phil.
You got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't run him over. You'll anger a lot of people. And the wife. Oh, I got it.
Bumper cars.
If you ever wanted to know what a clusterfuck is.
If you want, yeah. Do we need a chair for Tony?
Right here, yeah, that's fine. And then I'll go on the other end, that's fine.
Don will come over there.
Yeah. I'll leap over there with my acrobatic skills.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. That one.
Some water for Tony.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not even going to use this because I'm loud and booming anyway. So these guys I know need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway because my inner child says I get to do this. So on the end we have Mr. Tony Cox. Star Wars and Willow and Bad Santa. I watch Bad Santa. I live from someone's wife at night. I don't. Explain it to her later. Okay. And then we have Phil Fondacaro here. Von Carr. So you're gonna call us to have a dangerous mission. Troll. Land of the Dead. All kinds of great things. Oh, thank you. If you want to just point to the gentleman here. We'll try not to get annoyed, but yeah. And of course, he comes from the land of the Irish Spring. Dublin's the place where he learned his things. He's the Leprechaun. He's the Leprechaun. He's Wicket. He's Professor Flitwick and Willow, Warwick Davis.
Welcome to this very intimate press conference. So what are you going to ask questions or?
I usually have these guys ask questions.
Okay, that'll be fun.
I just want to say, I know I've said it to you guys individually. Thank you for a wonderful childhood. When you're 8 years old and you're watching Ewoks kick the shit out of stormtroopers, it gives you power, it gives you hope. Or when you're battling Queen Bat Morta,
Excellent.
it inspires us. So I'm sure you guys have millions of questions, so I'm not going to hog the mic here. Who's first? There's no being shy. Okay, there we go.
He said that you're originally from Dublin?
No, it's
No,
a rhyme.
I was noticing an accent, so I wasn't sure.
This is a British accent.
Bridget,
Yeah,
okay,
but
I was
it's
just
no
gonna
Irish.
ask about your most,
It's a rhyme from
your most
Leprechaun.
favorite Celtic legend, but since you're not from
It's probably the Leprechaun.
I know, I love the Leprechaun, I love all, well, I'm kinda iffy about the one in space, but aren't we all? But no, I'm just not. But no, I was just wasn't sure with him making that comment from Dublin.
It was a line
used
from Leprechaun. I apologize.
No, it's my fault.
No.
But still, I know that the Brits have a lot of legends and myths. And what's your favorite from there?
We have one.
I figured one of those might have sparked your interest into getting into those kinds of.
The only thing sparking my interest to get into them was the paycheck. That really sparks me interest. So if you want me in something, just flash the cash. Let me just say, it's just an absolute pleasure to see these two guys again. I haven't seen Phil and Tony for a number of years now. Although when we were together, we worked closely together for some time. Let me just tell you a story about Tony here. So we did the Ewok movies together, and we were much younger then. We didn't look a lot different, but we were younger in our bodies. But after work each day, we'd work all day in a hot Ewok costume, and then go to a local school and play basketball for a couple of hours. And Tony could shoot the basket from the center line. I mean, he was incredible. And so I spent my teenage years playing basketball with him, and it was a great deal of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Ted.
Yeah, thank you.
If you guys get a chance, there's a documentary called Hollywood Shorties. It's about the basketball team that Tony was on. And you guys played the Laker girls?
Yeah, for halftime, and we also played in competition against other little.
Tony sinks a three-point shot, and it's just beautiful. Oh, go right ahead.
When and how did the three of you meet? If you can recall.
When I first met Tony, was it on the Ewok movies?
Yes,
or Jill?
that was it, yes.
The Ewok movies. So Tony actually plays Wicket's brother. So Whittle.
Yes.
So your surname would be Warwick. I
Yeah.
think was the surname.
Warwick. That works.
And Phil, when did I meet you? Was it Willow the first time?
Yes, I think Willow was our first one together, but Tony, we did a movie, my first movie was Under the Rainbow.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Tony. And that's where a lot of the little people started. They needed like 100 little people for that movie. So they had to hire like 150 little people from all over the United States and stick them in this hotel like they did in the real movie. So it was very nice. And from then on, I think I've done over 5-6 films in OTC.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of work together.
Yeah.
So,
See, obviously these guys are more Hollywood than me because
yeah.
they live there. I just dip in and out when necessary.
But what I remember about Willow was, like the basketball story, is we would do our scenes for Willow, and in between, the three of us would have Grace and
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, and David Steinberg.
Oh, yeah.
rest in peace.
He's got the four of you.
Well, the four of us, we'd be competing against each other. WORR-ik and David against me and Tony, because we were the Americans. No problem. And that's what we did all day.
Yeah.
I really can't believe how we are now. It's like we barely walked down an aisle back before. And now, before we were able to run everywhere, we had so much energy and so much. Now we're old and.
Let's just say more characterful,
Yeah.
shall we?
Yes, I think I'd like to thank both you guys for
Yeah,
taking the time and being with me again.
Yeah, very nice. I like to thank these guys too, because actually Warwick and I, we've done a few films together, and also Phil and I too. So we've been around for a while, but it was so much fun working on the Willow sets and, you know, getting to know Warwick, and then Phil, I knew from the movie, because I was just amazed when he told me he was married. Him and his brother married 2 sisters. And I was just amazed at that. And I said, really, man? He said, yes. And the scene that he did, rolling down some steps, like, I was just shocked at what he could do. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever seen Under the Rainbow, but you got to see the stunt that he did. It was amazing.
Well, like I said, I was about 19, 21 years old, and yes, I was married, had 2 kids, and yeah, they had me do this scene, and it was like from then on, from the rolling down those stairs, it was amazing.
I always say this guy, I always call him Lionel Richie. I said, you Lionel Richie when you get arrested. Saying in his love or something.
Yeah. A lot of people say I look like Lionel Richie now, especially TC.
It's interesting you talk about like doing stunts there. It's interesting as you get older, as an actor, you're less inclined to want to do that stuff.
Yes.
So when I was 17, you couldn't stop me. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. But when you get to like 40, 50, you say, nah, let someone else do it.
Right. That's it.
Now I don't even stand in anymore. It's like we used to stand in. That's how you start. You stand in for other little people, you know, or children, and then you kind of graduate from there. And then you get to a point where you can't even get to the stage because you're so tired or you can't do that. So I think the little people in the business has grown a lot, and it has a lot to do with these people that are up here, because we enjoy showing our talent as far as acting as far as physicality. So I think that's something we've all been very, very, very successful at. And we appreciate you people appreciating that.
Yeah.
That recognize that we are just like all the rest of the actors out there. We have all the same things that all the actors have out there. And we enjoy doing what we do, this craft.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I remember when I got a chance to work with Warwick, and he was a kid, and he was so good. And I remember watching him in the costume when he was performing. Because a lot of the people you see here in the costume, they're not really acting. When that heat hits, you forget about everything. You know, but Warwick as a kid, man, he was phenomenal. And I remember that I'm standing there, I was like, man, this kid is good. You know, I remember that about you. And like I said about Phil is very talented. You know, so.
So Tony, just when he said this kid is good, were you also thinking I'm glad he lives in the UK?
Yeah. Not even US. That's right.
Not Hollywood.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Warwick, isn't Harrison now doing your stunt work?
Yeah, I bred my own stunt double basically. He's the same height as me, he looks like me, he's very lucky. But yeah, he's my stunt double. So on the Willow series, he was my photo double and stunt double, and my stand-in as well. So he'd have to arrive 2 hours before I did, line up the shot, and when I walked on set, he'd be like, oh great, there goes the limelight. While I wasn't there, he was very important, but then when I arrived, he was less important. But no, he's great. He's not an actor though, he doesn't enjoy acting. He actually has a proper job in the UK at the moment. But nonetheless, yeah, makes a great stunt double, a good fall guy for me.
Over here.
I had a two-part question. The first part is, what is your favorite movie? Not so much the movie you starred in, because after all, we all love all of your guys' movies, and I love all of you guys are in. So I'd love to know what your favorite movie is. And then the second part is, favorite movie you've ever worked on, or you had the most fun with.
Okay, so favourite movie we enjoy watching and favourite movie we've been in.
Yeah.
Shall I say this first, or do you have something to go with? So favourite movie I was reminded of the other day, because I saw a sign on the road out here. So Planes, Trains and Automobiles, and they go through Wichita. So I'm very tempted just to go there to retrace their journey.
Don't go to Wichita.
Don't go to Wichita.
Don't go to Wichita. It sucks you in and will never let you leave. You can't get away. You're able to escape it to come here.
So yeah, that is my favourite movie of all time. I love John Candy and Steve Martin. Great respect for them as performers. And favourite movie I've been in. Oh my gosh. It's got to be Jedi, because that was the movie that started it all. The reason I'm here today with you guys, my career has kind of all come from that one part, I suppose. And it still continues to deliver today, you know. Star Wars is never going to kind of die, is it?
Well, and people that don't like even the Star Wars franchise love the Ewoks, so you see, you
Well,
guys
most
have
of
the
them
perfect
do.
cover.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. Guys, do you want to take that favourite movie you've been in?
Go ahead.
I think I have to say, I did a movie called Troll, and that's the reason why it was one of my favorite was because I got to play 2 parts, and both parts were on camera at the same time. So I got a big kick out of that. I played Malcolm Mallory, the professor, and I was the troll. So it was a lot of hard work, which I enjoyed. And yeah, the idea of playing 2 parts was good for me. Now my favorite movie, I'm an old dude, so my favorite movie of all time is 12 Angry Men. So that alone kind of tells you that way back there. But just the premise of 12 Angry Men. I'm a drama guy. I like drama. I like my horror too, but those old guys back then just don't make films like that. So that would be my favorite. I didn't work on that.
Man, it's a few for me. I would have to say Bad Stanton. myself, and Irene working with Jim Carrey, and then Friday. They all were different. Working with all the comedians that were there, like Chris Tucker. I mean, being in the hood on 126, out there at night, everybody laughing, all the comedians going after each other. That was a lot of fun. And then working with Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, Billy Bob is just, he's out there, man. You gotta he's something, you know. He be telling him, hit me. He said, all right, I'm gonna get together with your wife. He was trying to make me get into the scene. But I was like, man, you really don't realize how hard I can hit. and then for the Jim Carrey movie, Jim Carrey, man, I mean, you that guy's just out there. If you can't improvise, you can forget it. You know, because Jim will start one way and he'll end up somewhere else. But that's what I like, because I'm good at improvisation. So those are, it's not just one, it's have to be those three.
Now that I remember back to that day when we were Jedi, we even did it on Jedi in between. So we were playing basketball, football in the parking lot of the hotel. We played
Oh, yeah.
football with the Nerf ball.
Yeah.
We were constantly doing stuff. It's tough for me to believe how we had that maturity to do that. And if you see it all, the bodies of work, how much work it takes and how much physicality it takes. Yeah. It's hard to believe that we're seeing it.
I always tell people, those costumes, and I've been in costume, and I'm sure Warwick been in costume. To me, the Ewok's costume was the hottest costume I've ever been in my life. I mean, those costumes, it's like 5 minutes. Your underwear was like soaked. and the eyes would fog up. And so you had to get to a spot, and they would fog up, and they would be trying to unfog them, they'd be spraying stuff on, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working, you know.
I think Kenny Baker once described being an Ewok suit as like being poached.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember when they would take their heads off, and you could see the steam coming. You could have put a pot of rice up there.
One of the things that amazed me after Jedi and seeing you in other movies, that Ewok was absolutely nothing like you. Your little teeny mouth, and you. Could you talk about that particular setup with that?
Talking about Ewoks?
So the Ewoks, their faces weren't animated at all, which was interesting when you take a character that features quite centrally in a film. You wouldn't do that now. You'd have a fully animated face, but the thing I could do with my particular head was get my own tongue between the teeth, which actually gave the face a bit of life and stuff as well. So the tongue you see in Wicket's face is actually my tongue. Is that kind of what you meant, sir?
Yeah.
I love the sound effects you did with it.
Back here.
I have kind of an off-the-wall question. So, Warwick, you did run free with Carl and Stephen and Ricky. How was that working with them? How was that experience?
So the question is, I did Idiot Abroad 3 with Carl Pilkington. Everyone know who Carl is? Well, I've just finished therapy having worked with him. So we travelled all over Europe, China, India. It was an amazing experience because when you work on a TV show, you get to do things you wouldn't do on a vacation. So I experienced every side of India. I recommend going if you haven't been to India because it's a country full of such life, such colour, such noise. It's very vibrant. It's a complete assault on the senses. But yeah, somewhere to visit, definitely. Yeah, you should just check out the show, I reckon, because it's unique. We've got a question here.
Yep.
Yes.
So, WORR-ik, are any of you really You said when you were younger, you said you always wanted to do your stunts. You wanted to do your stunts.
Yeah.
How practical is it really to do your own stunts most, if not all the time?
Well, the film company doesn't usually want you to do your stunts because obviously you're valuable to the production. But sometimes with actors who are short like us, it's easier for us to do it because getting a double that fits us is quite hard. You know, I've seen me doubled on films where it looks terrible. You know, it stands out a mile. They'll double me with somebody, you know, 5 foot, and I'm 3'6", so that doesn't really work. Someone with longer limbs, a different body posture and everything. And I remember my double on Leprechaun, he had to smash a windshield on a truck. First take, he broke his hand. So they said, "Warwick, will you come and do this?" Stunt double was out of action, he's in hospital already. So there you go, so I went and did it. But yeah, I mean, you guys must have been doubled in the past.
Well, I remember what you were talking about the guy with his hand, because I got called in.
Oh, you were next in line.
I got called in, and my agent said his hand broken, he got cut off or something. I said, "You know me?" She said, "Yeah, but you can do it." She said, he just hit the glass the wrong way, you know. And so I went in and I did it, but man, I was like, you really? I mean, he broke his hand and you called it me?
Thanks.
Alright, so the three of you have been in some pretty iconic movies with costumes and props. I don't think there's anybody from the film guild here. Anything interesting find its way to your house? A favorite prop.
So do we have a collection of props from our films?
Yeah.
Not me.
You guys have borrowed anything?
Yeah,
Easy, be
borrowed.
careful what you say,
No,
dear.
I had the troll, the whole entire troll. John Beekman gave to me, and said I could have it. And I didn't know how to preserve it, so I ended up giving it back, and he gave me some parts of it. But they're made out of latex. They can't last forever, so you have to give it to somebody who much to take it to preserve it. If I've had like hats or props like that, but as far as physical things, troll I had for a while. I did a film for Disney called Fuzz Bucket, and I had that whole entire outfit too in my home for a while, and then I ended up giving it back to the actual guy who made it because he wanted to use it, to see. But as far as holding on to that stuff, pictures and the film itself is what I get to keep, and so I don't really have to have all that.
You have the thing from Willow, that hatchet.
Yes.
You do have the hatchet.
Yes, yeah, that's completely like falling apart. All it is just a rubber like rock now and a little piece of whatever they used to put together to stick. Yeah, I do have that, but it's like not something you put up on a wall and show people. It's like just a little memento, like for me to say, why am I keeping that? What am I keeping that for? I have the film, I have the people, so I don't collect. In other words, I don't like, oh, we have that. But I do have some things.
TC, have you stolen anything, borrowed anything?
No.
Been given anything?
Stolen? Yes. No. No, I haven't. I wasn't as lucky.
So you have nothing in your collection from the movies you've been in?
Nothing.
Oh boy. I have a few things. Starting with Jedi, I've got some Ewok toes. no foot, just 3 toes in latex with some fur on. And I also have my bolas, the rocks I swing around my head as Wicket. So I've got those still, which are pretty cool. And some Ewok arrows as well. So that's from Jedi. What else do I have? So from Labyrinth, I have some rocks from the scene where the rocks are summoned to chase the goblins. I actually stole those because they were in the dumpsters in the studio, thrown away. And I was actually staying in my trailer on the lot. And at night, when everyone had gone, I would go around and kind of pinch stuff. There were a few bits there. And Then moving on from there, what's after that? Willow. I have my wand from Willow.
Nice.
Which is cool. That's a cool thing. That's the only thing I have from Willow, though. Then I have the film Ray with Jamie Foxx. I have the book of matches and the business card and the joint that I gave him. It's not real, by the way. I tried. Joking. Don't put that on the internet, please. And beyond that, what else have I got? I have a Gringotts galleon. That wasn't stolen. It was given to my daughter Annabelle by the producer, so that's legitimate. So these were amazing because they were actually minted by Mint in the Isle of Man for the film, so they were proper minted coins. But it was weird. So many went missing on the first movie. For the next time you saw Gringotts in Deathly Hallows, they were actually made of plastic and all glued together in stacks. So you couldn't steal individual ones, they were just stacks of plastic coins. I think that is my entire collection, although recently I've started collecting merchandise, toys of Wicket and stuff. I didn't used to have anything, now I'm obsessed. So every convention I go to, before you all arrive, I go around the dealers' tables and find all the cool stuff. And a good collection now. You have a little Wicket, then that's not Wicket, that's a relative.
Yeah.
Who is that one? Has it got a label?
I'm not sure.
Mickey?
Is that Princess Nisa or?
Oh, that's Wicket's girlfriend, I think.
Yeah.
Woo woo. She's a real looker as far as you
Latara. It's Latara.
Latara.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his other girlfriend.
Wicket's a popular guy.
He is. But I mean, as far as Ewok goes, he is a bit of a looker, isn't he?
You saved
Who
the
was
universe, so.
the little? I love him. He's the little fat one. I just loved
The
him.
little fat one. Oh, that was Tony.
And he was just the big day Ewok.
Definitely Tony.
I like that one. That one was great.
Well, thank you.
You got a fan?
He had-
Right, so
he had
that's
face-
my
and he
collection
got
of
the face
stolen
to move,
things.
apparently, 'cause it made me think he had a-
Where are we going next?
Well, I think we're gonna do one more question, then we gotta get you guys in the photo ops. Any, all right.
So, if the Leprechaun was here with us right now, what would he have to say about Crypticon Kansas City?
He'd be slightly unnerved by the amount of Leprechaun fans in one place at the same time. I mean, I'm slightly unnerved by that as well. I'm also slightly unnerved by the fact that people confess they do like Leprechaun as well. That says a lot about you as people.
Yeah, we got Leprechaun in the Hood playing tonight with a drinking game, so you're a drinking game too.
So when do you take a drink? When he kills someone?
I'll have to print it out.
You're going to be wasted if it's on a
Well, we're
death
gonna keep an
count.
ambulance.
Yeah.
So where is that showing so I know to keep well away?
Next room here.
Okay, good. I might leave the hotel.
Yeah.
Just let's see.
Little restraining order, yeah,
Well, good luck with that, everyone.
Yeah. May your livers be with you. Well, we gotta get the guys over to the photo op so we can keep on schedule for the next Q&A, guys. So
But thank you for having us
Yeah,
here.
thank you.